Hey there one, Spazzy Dragon here, aka Syndromes, and this video is a simple reply to a simple thread regarding chain firing and capital ships. I, quite frankly, cannot really quote the opening post right now, but it was basically something along the lines that snubs have it very easily, that they have the whole keyboard thing if they really want to kind of chain fire and everything, and capital ships don't usually have this ability because when turret steering, your hand is somewhere in a completely different spot, and it's kind of problematic when you're trying to dodge and you want to start chain firing, and you have to take your hand off of this spot on the keyboard which you're not too proficient to. I mean, any one of us who have gotten used to their keyboards can place their hands on the WASD with their eyes closed, but obviously turret steering requires keys that are kind of out of the way, and if you're in a heated battle, and especially if you're a small capital ship like a gunboat, where getting hit is still not really that big, that good, taking your hand off of the turret steering keys just to do this thing is kind of problematic. So today I'm going to show you a very simple trick that I personally use for my gunboats. Technically it's actually very simple. So I have 5 weapon groups assigned to my 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 keys, as you can see here, and the third one, I use the third one, you can use whenever you want, are basically every other turret like this. For some reason I also have the CD, which I'm not going to have light. Okay, so the idea here is simple. I have a non-gaming mouse, so obviously I only have 1, 2, 3 buttons, if you include the middle mouse button. So what I did is go to ship controls, and there's a neat little thing called Fire Weapon Group X. So in my case, it's Weapon Group 3, the one I use for chain firing, and so I set my mouse 3 to Weapon Group 3. So, in other words, there we go. When I press my middle mouse button, it fires half of my guns. And then it's actually very simple. I just need to quickly press the middle mouse button as I start chain firing, and then press and hold down my right mouse button, like this. And that's pretty much how I do it. Now obviously you have different mouse, if you have a better mouse, you have a gaming mouse, you have much more keys you can do this with, and for many ships I actually use this function for firing a certain weapon group in specific situations. For example, I have a Razor cruiser, and I assign my Razors to that hotspot, so I actually don't have to switch to a completely different set of weapons just because I want to fire that one particular weapon, if it actually syncs up with the rest of my primaries. Not always the case. Some people also assign their CMs to weapon group and then use the mouse button to actually activate them. And yeah, if you want to do this sort of thing, it's a pretty easy way to do it. That's basically how I do it. It doesn't really mean that you have to do it the same thing. You can assign any other weapon group, you can assign any other button for this, but that's how I do it, and that's pretty much it.